The 1966 Washington quarter is a famous coin from the United States that belongs to the long-running Washington quarter series. This coin has a face value of 25 cents, also known as a quarter dollar, and it was widely used in everyday transactions during the mid-20th century. The design of the coin features the portrait of George Washington, who was the first president of the United States and one of the most respected leaders in American history. The Washington Quarter Series was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1966, this coin had already become one of the most recognized coins in American circulation. The word liberty appears above the portrait on the obverse side, representing the American national value of freedom, while the motto, "In God We Trust," is also included as a symbol of faith and tradition. The year 1966 is clearly shown on the front of the coin, indicating the year it was minted. The 1966 quarter dollar is also historically interesting because it was produced during an important change in American coinage. Before 1965, U.S. quarters were made with 90% silver, but due to rising silver prices and coin shortages, the United States government changed the metal composition. Starting in 1965, quarters were made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, which means the coin contains a pure copper core covered by layers of nickel and copper alloy. The 1966 quarter, therefore, does not contain silver, unlike earlier Washington quarters minted before 1965. This change helped the United States Mint produce coins more cheaply and in larger numbers so that they could circulate widely in the economy. Another unique detail about the 1966 Washington quarter is the absence of a mint mark. Normally, U.S. coins include a small letter showing where the coin was minted, such as D for Denver or S for San Francisco. However, from 1965 to 1967, the United States Mint intentionally removed mint marks from all circulating coins. This was done to discourage coin collectors from hoarding newly minted coins during the national coin shortage of the 1960s. As a result, the 1966 quarter has no mint mark, even though it may have been produced in multiple mint facilities. This makes the coin historically interesting because it reflects the economic conditions and policies of that time. The reverse side of the coin features a detailed image of a bald eagle, the national symbol of the United States. The eagle is shown with its wings spread wide, holding arrows in its claws to represent strength and readiness to defend the nation. Beneath the eagle are olive branches, which symbolize peace. Above the eagle appears the national motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, which reflects the unity of the American states. Around the top of the reverse side are the words, United States of America, while the denomination quarter dollar is written below the eagle. In terms of size and physical specifications, the 1966 Washington quarter has a diameter of about 24.3 millimeters, a weight of approximately 5.67 grams, and a reeded edge with small grooves around the rim. These grooves were originally introduced on silver coins to prevent people from shaving off small amounts of precious metal, and the design tradition continues even on modern clad coins. The coin was produced in very large numbers, with hundreds of millions minted, making it a very common coin in circulation during the 1960s and 1970s. For collectors today, the 1966 quarter is usually not extremely rare because of its high mintage. Most circulated examples are worth close to their face value of 25 cents, although well-preserved uncirculated coins may sell for a few dollars depending on their condition and grading. Coins with special characteristics such as strong luster, perfect surfaces, or mint errors may be worth more to collectors. Coin grading organizations, such as Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company, often evaluate these coins and assign grades that help determine their collector value. Overall, The 1966 Washington quarter represents an important period in American coin history. It reflects the transition from precious metal coinage to modern clad coinage and shows how economic pressures influenced the design and production of everyday money. Even though it is common, the coin remains an interesting piece for collectors because it tells the story of a changing era in the United States and honors the legacy of George Washington, whose image continues to appear on the American quarter to this day. Next, top 2. The 1967 Washington quarter is an important coin from the United States and part of the famous Washington quarter that has been circulating for many decades. This coin has a face value of 25 cents, commonly called a quarter dollar, and it features the portrait of George Washington on the front side. The Washington Quarter Series was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, and the design became so popular that it continued to be used for many years afterward. On the obverse front side of the 1967 quarter, the word Liberty appears above the portrait, symbolizing freedom and independence, which are important values in American history. The motto "In God We Trust" is written near Washington's portrait, representing the traditional national motto used on many United States coins. The date 1967 appears at the bottom of the coin, indicating the year the coin was produced. The 1967 Washington quarter is also historically interesting because it was produced during a time when the United States government had recently changed the metal composition of its coins. Before 1965, American quarters were made from 90% silver and 10% copper, which gave them intrinsic metal value. However, rising silver prices and a nationwide coin shortage caused the United States Mint to change the composition of the quarter starting in 1965. The 1967 quarter was therefore made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, meaning it has a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper and nickel alloy. This change allowed the government to produce coins more economically and keep enough coins in circulation for everyday use. Another notable feature of the 1967 quarter dollar is the absence of a mint mark. Normally, U.S. coins show a small letter indicating where they were minted, such as D for Denver or S for San Francisco. However, from 1965 to 1967, mint marks were intentionally removed from all circulating coins. This policy was introduced to prevent coin collectors from hoarding newly minted coins during the coin shortage of the mid-1960s. As a result, the 1967 Washington quarter has no mint mark, even though the coins were produced in several mint facilities across the country. The reverse side of the coin displays a powerful image of the bald eagle, which is the national bird and symbol of the United States. The eagle is shown with its wings spread wide, representing strength, freedom, and the power of the nation. In its claws, the eagle holds arrows that symbolize the country's readiness to defend itself, while olive branches represent peace and diplomacy. Above the eagle appears the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, which means out of many one, referring to the unity of the states forming one nation. Around the top edge of the coin are the words, United States of America, and at the bottom the denomination quarter dollar is written clearly. In terms of physical specifications, the 1967 Washington quarter has a diameter of about 24.3 millimeters, a weight of approximately 5.67 grams, and a reeded edge with many small grooves along the rim. These grooves were originally designed on silver coins to prevent people from shaving off small amounts of precious metal, and the tradition continued even after the switch to copper-nickel-clad coins. The coin was produced in extremely large quantities, with hundreds of millions minted, making it a very common coin in circulation during the late 1960s and 1970s. For coin collectors today, the 1967 Washington quarter is generally not rare, because of its high production numbers. Most circulated coins are worth about their face value of 25 cents, although coins in uncirculated condition with strong shine and minimal scratches may be worth a few dollars. Some coins with minting errors, unusual features, or exceptional preservation can be more valuable to collectors. Professional coin grading organizations, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service and the Numismatic Guarantee Company, often examine these coins and assign grades that determine their collector value. Overall, the 1967 Washington quarter represents an important period in American coin history. It reflects the economic challenges of the 1960s, the transition from silver coinage to modern clad coinage, and the efforts of the United States Mint to maintain a stable supply of coins for daily commerce. Even though it is a common coin, it remains historically meaningful because it shows how the nation adapted its coinage system during a time of financial and economic change, while continuing to honor George Washington, one of the most important figures in American history. Next, top 3. The 1987 P Mint Mark Quarter is a circulating coin from the United States and part of the long-running Washington Quarter, one of the most recognizable coin series in American history. This coin has a face value of 25 cents, commonly called a quarter dollar, and it features the portrait of George Washington on the front side. The Washington quarter design was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Because of its popularity and strong national symbolism, the design continued for decades and remained the standard quarter design until the late 1990s. On the obverse front of the 1987 quarter, the word Liberty appears above the portrait of Washington, representing freedom and independence, which are central values in American culture and history. To the left of the portrait appears the phrase, "In God We Trust," a national motto used on many American coins. The date 1987 is shown at the bottom of the coin, marking the year of minting. On coins from Philadelphia, a small P mint mark appears near the date, showing that the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the main production facilities of the United States Mint. The reverse side of the 1987 P Washington quarter features a powerful image of the bald eagle, the national bird and symbol of the United States. The eagle is depicted with its wings spread wide, symbolizing strength, courage, and freedom. In its talons, the eagle holds a bundle of arrows, representing the nation's readiness to defend itself, while olive branches symbolize peace and diplomacy. Above the eagle appears the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, which means out of many one. This phrase reflects the idea that many states and diverse people form one unified nation. Around the top edge of the coin are the words, United States of America, while the denomination quarter dollar is written along the lower edge of the reverse side. In terms of composition, the 1987 Washington quarter is made from a copper-nickel clad metal composition. This means the coin contains a pure copper core that is covered by outer layers made from a mixture of copper and nickel. This composition was introduced in 1965 when the United States stopped producing silver quarters due to rising silver prices and coin shortages. As a result, by 1987, all circulating quarters were made using this durable clad metal structure. The coin has a diameter of about 24.3 millimeters, a weight of approximately 5.67 grams, and a reeded edge with many small grooves around the rim. These grooves were originally used on silver coins to prevent people from shaving off small amounts of precious metal, but the design tradition continued even after the switch to clad coinage. The 1987 P quarter also holds a small but interesting place in the world of coin collecting. In 1987, the United States Mint did not release traditional mint sets for collectors, which meant that many collectors had to obtain high-quality coins directly from circulation or special souvenir sets. Because of this, uncirculated examples of the 1987 P. Washington quarter can sometimes be slightly more desirable among collectors compared with other common years. However, the coin itself was produced in large numbers, so circulated coins are still very common in everyday collections. For collectors and numismatists, the value of a 1987 P. Washington quarter depends largely on its condition and grade. Coins that have been heavily circulated are usually worth only their face value of 25 cents. However, coins that remain in uncirculated condition with bright mint luster and minimal marks may sell for a few dollars, depending on their quality. Coins that receive high grades from professional grading organizations, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Company, can sometimes be worth more to collectors who seek well-preserved examples for their collections. Overall, the 1987 P. Washington quarter represents a continuation of one of the most famous coin designs in American numismatic history. It combines the enduring image of George Washington, a symbol of American leadership and independence, with the iconic bald eagle design that reflects the strength and unity of the nation. Although it is a common coin in everyday circulation, it still holds historical importance as part of the long Washington quarter series and remains a familiar piece of American currency that many people around the world recognize today.